than you did. And it's the Black Cats for Catamole as Steve Bruce finally gets his man.
What are you doing?
So, what exactly did happen when the police and Sunderland football fans clashed at Newcastle Central Station? Well, the police say their dogs were attacked by the fans, but the fans say they were on the receiving end of police bully boy tactics. Well, as both sides blamed each other, it emerged that the incident will now be investigated by the Independent Police Complaints Commission. It happened as Sunderland fans were making their way home after a friendly match in Edinburgh on Saturday night. Well, here's our chief reporter, Chris Stewart.
This mobile phone footage was filmed shortly after the incident, and it's clear something serious did happen. On the floor, a man lies unconscious. Not far away, a puddle of blood. It isn't the only one. But who was to blame? The police say it started when their dogs were attacked. But teacher and Sunderland fan David Story, who lives in York, says that wasn't the case.
Well, there was no attacking went on. There was a scuffle on the floor with a police dog. It seemed that it attacked the fan. They tried to rescue the fan, pull him away from the dog, and that's when the batons came out. There was no fighting. It was just kind of an unprovoked attack. It was ludicrous.
The police have, as required of them, referred the matter to the Independent Police Complaints Commission. But why were the police on the platform with dogs and batons in the first place? Well, they knew that 40 known football hooligans had boarded a train in Edinburgh bound for Newcastle. Those hooligans belonged to a gang called the Casuals, and they attached themselves to Sunderland Football Club. And spotted waiting for them here, more hooligans, this time from a gang called the Gremlins, who attached themselves to Newcastle United. The two sides had arranged to fight, but the police were onto them. The police say a train carrying 400 Sunderland fans, the train David Story was on, was held back while the hooligans, or risk supporters as they refer to them, were escorted onto the metro system.
Now, the focus of the operation was to keep the risk supporters apart. We did have a group of Newcastle risk supporters outside of Central Station. They were contained by other officers to keep them away from the Sunderland risk supporters. It was, as I understand, the disorder was finished, the risk supporters were moved into the metro station, and the next train arrived. So I'm not sure why or how they got caught up in it.
Today, questions were also being asked about how the police responded to one man lying on the floor with a head injury.
Several supporters have reported it took them 3 or 4 minutes to actually attend to this supporter. The footage is quite clear. It's other Sunderland supporters putting this gentleman in the recovery position. If that is true, and the police didn't attend to him quickly, then they failed in their duty of care towards citizens in trouble.
The IPCC says it'll examine tapes from the station's CCTV system before deciding on any action. Chris Stewart, BBC Look North, Newcastle.
The creator of an inflatable artwork